Don't miss in 26. Check out the highlights for New Comic Book Day March 25th, 2026. Superman and Spider-Man team up in the crossover event of the year, featuring a ton of immense talent at the helm with short stories and covers. Flash, Green Lantern, and Harley Quinn continue. The MCU's first family gets a new #1 in Fantastic Four First Foes. Other phenomenal series continue like Dungeons of Doom #3 and Generation X-23 #2. Image continuity this week includes Void Rivals, Skinbreaker, and Feral. Department of Truth returns with issue number 36 and the acclaimed White Sky releases its second issue. Star Wars The High Republic Adventures brings us Pathfinders. Follow the dark comedic grind of being a supervillain's underling in Henchman #1. Thundercats concludes their current ongoing with issue number 25. Get what you want, and more, at iwantmorecomics.com.
Well, Richie, from your video, I can see you already had highlighted the hottest book because it's already sold out.
Yep, I saw that too.
No way to avoid it, except for, I guess there's that other show in the week. But
there is that other show that we do that will help you
whatever,
get any of those comics I showed in that video. But
we're not there.
Yeah, we're talking about a show of comics that have a finite number. These are the physical things that we now have in our hands and are ready to get to your hands. Right now, we are talking about the half-hour hype. We are one day before New Comic Book Day, and one day before getting rid of Richie. That's correct. Yes.
Richie's a goner. He's gonna go sleep with the fishes or something.
Yeah, I'm leaving for sure. I figured we'd heard enough of my nonsense, but we are talking about really big, one of the bigger releases of this year, with one of the biggest crossovers of the year, if not the biggest this year. We have usually I'm talking about a lot of like #1s that we have, but there aren't a ton of #1s this week. Instead, we're replacing it with one #1 that's going to be obnoxious to talk about.
So
go ahead.
Sometimes in the business they know that you know what, everybody wave off this week. We'll start new things up.
Yeah,
we'll let them have all the oxygen in the room this week.
Yeah, you don't want to try to go against this bad boy because your comic might fall into the pit of irrelevance. So, but what we're going to talk about is comics that are available right now, but released tomorrow. You can purchase it to have it shipped to you, or you can pick it up in store. You can avoid the craziness that is New Comic Book Day by purchasing right now. If you're a Portal user, don't forget that you have all the access on your Portal section. Go there to add these fun, cool comics. Don't go here. But how do you get here if you want to follow along?
We have this website. We use it every week. iwantmorecomics.com, and you can go to the shop button, and new releases this week is what we're on right now.
Excellent. So as we start, I think what I'll do is I'll talk about a lot of the #1s. We'll skip the big guy for the end, and we can kind of run down a lot of the cool variants and such of the big crossover. So we'll kind of show you what's behind the giant wall that is our big two. But we will start with Marvel Comics with an MCU specific. This is the movie version of our Fantastic Four crew in a new comic book. This is actually their second volume of their comic book, and it's called First Foes. Kind of dealing with their first couple years after the incident, and their adventures continue through the comic book. And then I believe we'll tell more of the story for you to enjoy for the big summer blockbuster Doomsday.
Oh, I guess it helps if I'm on the right page.
I guess it's winter blockbuster. Yeah, we are. Oh, yeah, because you're trying to show me the other day.
I was talking about something for next week. Yeah.
Yes.
That's not useful. So
no, that's not going to help us.
There we go.
There we go. Fantastic Four.
I'm like, no, Richie, you're talking about a book that doesn't exist. And I go, wait a minute. No, it does exist. So.
Next. There you go. Right there. There's our crew. They have a couple cool variants as well.
Good stuff here. Kafu, Kerry Andrews is always going to grab my eye. Phil Noto is on the main and has a variant also for this. So choose and choose wisely for that.
Yeah, Kerry Andrews is always going to get me as well. And I always like when you see one of his art pieces, you go, that doesn't look like the other piece. That's my favorite part about him.
Very talented.
Over at Mad Cave Studios, we have Honored and Cursed Eternal. This is an immortal ninja with a vengeful war spirit is forced out of hiding to protect his last descendants of a sworn family. And he kind of has to go against the monster within. It very much reminds me of like Death Note and kind of like a really cool John Wick style vengeance story. So
this is a continuation. There was an original series of Honor and Curse, but each one of the stories is told on its own in a standalone, so that you don't have to be completely immersed in the universe to know what's what with it.
Excellent. Over at Keen Spot, we have another focus for the legendary Mark Spears. Midnight Man #1 releases. It is a one-shot from Mark Spears' Monsters universe, and this is an origin of an all-new superhero, Midnight Man. For my Mark Spears fans.
5 variants on that one. You can see where they're all named for their theme of what's going on the variant.
Mm-hmm. All ridiculously fun. Next is Red 5 Comics has Sun Chasers One Shot. It's a story about a person trying to redeem the family name, and fortunately, the family name is very synonymous with a notorious villain, and he's kind of working to change the concept of his last name, as this is Henry Hitler.
Oh,
so he might have a little of a steep hill to do that.
It is a large book. It is $9.95, but you are getting a 64-page monster out of this.
64 pages, holy cow!
Yeah, this is pretty big and more. It's borderlining on that. I guess you'd have to call it an original graphic novel, right?
Yeah, I would call it that. Yes, for sure. Over at Fantagraphics Underground, I asked Sean what this was. I was like, is this actually a new #1? It is a new #1. Peter Bagg always does like these one-shots that do continue his stories. So this is actually picking up from 2 years ago in 2024's Hate Revisited, but it is Butch #1, a hate comic, which I know a lot of indie chasers are after. And this is definitely one that's going to be kind of hidden in the background of all the craziness that's going on today or tomorrow.
Yep.
Dark Horse Comics has a new one. I think it's a one-shot. It might actually be. Oh, it's a 6-issue series. Forgive me. But Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures. Adventures typically means that they drop the drama a little bit just to make it a little more all ages. But this is Pathfinder's #1. Within that universe, it is set 20 years after the end of Phase 2, when the Republic Pathfinders explored the furthest, most dangerous reaches of the galaxy.
Yep.
On to Udon Entertainment has an excellent comic I know won't make it to the weekend. Street Fighter Masters. This one is for Karen #1, or Kareen. Sorry, I don't play Street Fighter that much, so I don't know. But this is a kind of like an ongoing one-shot series where they focus on a character from Street Fighter, and they have been selling very, very well. If you're trying to get your hands on it, I would go early, pick your favorite variant, and pick it up now.
Yeah, some really good style ones on that. I'm expecting my normal rush of orders on these tonight. Mm-hmm. So you have opportunity, because I see that as of right now, everything's still in stock. So we've made it at least 6 hours with this.
That's right.
So
thanks, Nam.
Nam says Karen. So
Karen, I see.
Makes a lot of sense for a fighting game.
Yes. Then we go over to Hoffman International for not a comic book, but a new magazine. Octavia is releasing. This is the Sorcerer of Science, and kind of just it very very much reminds me of 70s magazine style for sci-fi stuff.
Mike Hoffman, all the work that he does with these magazines is very much done in the flavor and spirit of, the greats of like Frazetta and others in that era, Creepy Eerie's, things like that. So everything that he does as a different magazine has its story theme, but the way it tells tales would fit in and make it feel like it's at home in that old world of magazines.
And another one where I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck at the $8.95 price point, seeing them physically, it's definitely worth it.
Yep,
value wise. All right, from there we're going to move on to a number one that is technically a reprint, but it has been doing really big numbers, and people are celebrating from Image Comics. Invincible Returns gets its facsimile edition.
I heard you were chastised already today. Had you not stayed up
till
midnight to watch every episode or something?
Correct. There's, I believe, 2 episodes out or 3, so I need to catch up. But that is what a plane ride's for. So I will be doing that later this evening.
You've got great options here. Again, this when this came out, this was in the neighborhood, I want to say, of about issue number 75, and they brought back. For this main cover here, they brought in, David Finch to turn around and do the main cover. And there was a variant done by Darwin Cook that goes alongside A. Otley, who was doing the series at the time. So I'm glad that when they came back with the facsimile edition, all of them returned. Some people like the blank variant. Usually we don't sell those very well, so that was just a pre-order only type thing. But the others we definitely have stocked and ready for people to catch up, and you can pick your favorite cover, or if you feel the need, grab all 3.
Next, I would like to kind of look at number 2s that are from series that a lot of people enjoyed. We can do the handoff with Mad Cave Studios, as they have a number 1 also, but it's a second printing of the hit Florida Hippopotamus Cocaine Massacre. It is coming out in tandem with its second issue. So if you were or enjoyed that, I highly recommend jumping on that, because I don't see it's hanging around.
Right next door, you have the Is Ted Okay, which was a hit that week. So if you got one of those copies, we're lucky enough to get into it early and all this, that is available also.
DC Comics over at Vertigo, we have Pearl of the Brutal Dark and Ezra Kane Mystery is as well hitting its second issue. Another one that was well received, and people really have started picking up on that Vertigo. A lot of buzz is going around on those.
There we go, Brutal Dark. Yep.
I love the noir story, and that variant is great to me. I love that.
Really well done.
Image Comics has White Sky number 2, one of the bigger ones to drop in the last month. Don't miss its second issue.
Yep. 3 covers for that one, because it does get the Invincible month treatment for its second issue.
And then finally, for a number 2, I wanted to bring heads up to Marvel Comics has Wolverine Weapons of Armageddon number 2 is dropping. A lot of talk going on about the Armageddon event. And really, it doesn't feel like an event as much as like just a branding. It's going to be kind of like a shift or a change in what the 616 looks like. So I do think it feels
way closer to some of the X-Men storytelling patterns of the past, where overall we had something going on, but it's not that everything dances through every book. So it's just this is going to be stylized. Heroic Age is probably a good example.
That's
That's
exactly what I feel like.
Tonality and direction of the stories is all going to be there. And since this thing is being overseen and helmed by Chip Zdarsky, I've got a great deal of interest into seeing where it's going to end up.
Yeah, and faith too. I trust him for sure. From there, I wanted to talk about all of our cover themes and kind of highlight where you can find all those cover themes?
So right here on the sidebar and all this cover theme, I'll pull them all up because you can multi-click and select whatever you want here.
Mm-hmm.
But inside this,
I
obviously,
believe is this our last week of Invincible?
well, there's always going to be a couple stragglers that come on.
Mm-hmm.
I believe this is the last primary week, but when the way Image publishes, some stuff gets slid around because of deadlines.
Yeah.
So we could see a couple stragglers on this coming in, but it's going to be like onesies and twosies, not a big themed week like we've got Capes and Department of Truth and Feral and Final Boss all at once kind of idea. So
Yes.
and then we've still got some Doom themes. That's where Fantastic Four's Mike Allred is going to pop up there.
Excellent.
What was it? This was International Women's Day for the Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
More Dooms there. And it's funny because this is going to be tough to feel. Like the I Hate Fairyland is kind of like a handoff book there. We're still Invincible now, but we're going to be going into the I Hate team ups.
Yes, correct.
Yes. So you have it's kind of a nice little one. The April Deadpools, which
big ones.
Those are just starting up, aren't they?
They are just starting. Yep.
So everybody definitely wanted to see, Frank get de-pantsed.
I also like the Iron Man cardboard. I enjoyed that one.
Pretty solid stuff there. So again, quite a few. What did we miss?
Void Rivals. Yeah, the monster variant.
Yep. So there's monster variants there, which would be the fifth one we hadn't mentioned just yet.
There you go. So that is how you find all of those cover themes. We're working harder and harder to make sure that you can find those, and it makes it easier to purchase all of them, because I feel like the whole point of a theme is to get them all. So hopefully you guys are using that tool and it's working out for you.
Yep. If that's your flavor, we're going to give you the tool.
Before we jump into the big crossover, I had a couple variant runways that I wanted to show. Both of them were featured in our crossover variant or our cover theme variants. But over at Marvel, we have Fantastic Four number 9. Malice is still causing havoc in there, and with it comes really fantastic variants. The All Red being one of them, I think. Don't want to miss out on those.
Yeah, Sways also is very impressive here.
Very good. Yeah.
Just well done, kind of showing off the possession really well.
And then DC Comics, we have Harley Quinn, number 60, loaded with awesome variants this week.
Harley here. One of the few logo ones, the symbols that we brought in because we thought this would be popular enough. The others were special order only. The standout is going to be the Gillen March. Yeah, when you do a good homage to a cover, it's going to have a lot of popularity.
The stool on the ground is the best, man. I love it.
Just so right. Just so well done in all this. Nakayama still doing great, and the other and the lyrics does really well for that old style there. You don't want to miss out on this one too for when you get into variants. If this is your style, this is one of the ones that will be talked about here with the the brothers theme, kind of thing going on.
There are, honestly, if you guys look through this a little more eagle-eyed, there are a ton of one-off variants that are phenomenal. And I think it's because they're trying to fight the crossover. But there are very, very good ones. DC also has Batman's The Dark Knight Returns number 2 releasing, celebrating its 40th anniversary. There's foils, there's new variants, there's a jock variant that's gorgeous. And then there's the Dirt Frank Miller variant that I will highlight.
You're not going to pick up the Dirt variant, are you?
I am, yes. I've already, that's already gotten.
This absolute Wonder Woman Putri. Just because it's up on the screen.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah. There's some stuff there.
And since we're looking at pretty variants on DC, I think it's time we move into the big bad of the week. it worked last year, gang. I think we all enjoyed it. It was Batman, Deadpool. It was really cool, and it turns out Marvel and DC like money, so they were like, you know what, we'll do it again, and we're gonna check out Superman, Spider-Man. It's the same kind of theory where we have an anthology book with a lot of creators and a lot of amazing talent with a lot of great stories. I think each one of them is going to have heart, it's going to have depth, and it's going to kind of get to go where they don't usually get to go because these are very few and far between. So I think editorial's not too heavily involved outside of like, you know, we can't let that Batman do this in this scenario kind of thing. So we have a great book here. It's going to be a ton of pages, a little bit of cash, and the problem is finding out which cover you actually want to get. The good news is that if you like an artist, there's a high possibility that they have a variant out there for you. We're probably going to fill about, I feel Sean's anger right now as he tries to place 23 different covers that are going to be available for this book, and not a one that I think is insignificant in any way. If I don't appreciate the artist as much, I love the take the artist did. You know, I think that it like everything either is fantastic artwork, or it's in reference to something important, or it's got the most unique characters that you were like, I never thought I'd see them on a cover. All in all, I don't think there's a loss. I think that you will be happy with whatever you purchase. It is the biggest comic and will be talked about everywhere. And what we like to do here, staff and I, is we like to try to figure out which cover's going to go first. Which one does not make it all the way throughout the weekend.
You don't let me in on those guesses, by the way.
Well,
because I probably would have just like, I'd have picked a weird one and then just ordered one copy of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can kind of skew the numbers. Again, like if you just randomly pick one, I'm a fan of the Adam Hughes and the Middleton. I think that Art Germ is potential to be the one that goes away the fastest. The Art Adams has a classic and really simple feel to it that I think captures your eye. David Talaski, I'm not sure I'm saying that right. Is the colors on this are impressive. The artwork is phenomenal. J. Scott Campbell comes with his own group of people that are buying it. I was saying that Gabriel Dell'Otto with the black suits are unique in the era.
The other era, kind of like matching character one that really mattered to me was Dave Johnson.
Yes.
Putting up Red Sun and Spider Hulk,
amazing.
You know, both, Elseworlds, What If.
Absolutely. Another team up that works really, really well. Two kind of like other worlds are Jeff Spokes variant with the punks of their respective titles. And then the Daniel Sampier Wonder Woman fame. He's got an excellent cover that not only is two unique characters from their lineage, like it's like the overpowered versions of them, but the way he drew them is an homage to the original crossover from Spider-Man, Superman. So
yep.
Eagle Eyes can kind of catch that as well. All in all, I think this is like the biggest book, obviously. The wraparound cover is a really good one. You get all the bang for your buck with Jorge Jimenez. The foil is a unique one in the idea that, it's shiny. Jim Lee's variant is very important because it got the most heat ever online because of Spider-Man's hand is a little wonky there. And Jim Lee said, I'm leaving it because he's Jim Lee and that's what he can do. So take your time with this, figure out which one you actually want. If you need them all, get them all. This is going to be a collector's item. I think most of us recognize how far and few these collabs are. And we all know that Justice League Avengers, if we could, we'd buy it again. Wink, wink, that might be able to happen. But so you want to pick up the ones you want and be able to hand them out and pull them out of your personal collection any chance you get.
Let me just see if it's there yet. Oh, look here. Oh, it might be coming up on one of those Sunday shows, huh?
Yeah.
You might be able to subscribe to all 4 parts of it if you're a Hold Spot member.
I might recommend that. Yes.
Reminder: this is the DC-led version here. So both companies can make their dollars. The way this works is they split up stories and talent and artists and covers. This is the first out the gate for the Superman, Spider-Man. We will then have here in a couple weeks Spider-Man, Superman. Right. And that you can tell which company did it because they put their character alpha, first on the billing.
Yes.
So there will be a whole brand new area there. I don't want to disparage one company over the other, but I will say I'm going to give praise here to DC because all the covers that they've created are all on the open order scale. None of these are ratios. None of these are hard to get. They were all available. We were able to put our orders in and try to balance out. J. Scott Campbell, Art Germ, Jim Lee ordered more copies of that than say Mikkel Janin here. But we didn't skimp on this. We just knew that, there's a base of fandom that's going to follow it a little bit deeper. So we have it all available right now. It'll start to dwindle tomorrow. I think it lasts through most of tomorrow. We're sitting pretty good.
I think so too. Did you see that Scott Kolbish variant? Show that thing off.
The Scott one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the other wraparound, isn't it?
Goodness gracious.
If you would like to pay a smaller per character fee, definitely where to turn around and to get in on that. You get more for that there. So do poke around and all this, and then be ready in a couple weeks when we run it back again and get another runway of additional books. Just keep that in the back of your mind so that, in 2 to 3 weeks when we're talking about that, you're like, wait a minute, I thought we already did this. Well, we're doing it again. And that book will have different stories.
Yes, it will.
So all the content is specific to each one.
The direct homage is Raphael Sandoval from the original, for those that are looking.
Yeah, the right characters kind of thing and all this kind of stuff. So definitely giving credit there and all this. And I always appreciate when the artists do that there. So it's good. There's lots of options. You definitely get time to choose what you're looking for there. So feel free to enjoy. And I am happy to see these companies working well together, doing this type of thing, allowing some facsimile editions of some old stuff that we really wanted to have. Like they did the first Superman, Spider-Man in the full size, treasury sized, which surprisingly really caught fire online a little bit later. We sold out most of our extra copies of that to mail order because people were rapidly coming back and couldn't find it locally, and were coming back to us and grabbing it from there. So worked out pretty good for that.
Well, that's it for me. I feel like I've done my time here, and
you're on short timer syndrome anyway. For Mr. I'm already on vacation.
I clocked out 15 minutes ago in my head. So
So thank you one and all. Again, Hold Slot members, please use the portal. Put your stuff in there. I'll be pulling books all night. Anyone else, if you need it shipped, if you need to come in and pick it up, please use the website right here. You can select all the options and make sure that you've secured the bag before you even have to worry about elbowing people at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
That's right.
So, which, again, Richie's not going to care about. He's leaving that on Matthew to turn around and have to, break up fights and do all that.
If the place is still standing by the time I get back, I'll put it back together. It's fine.
There you go. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys joining us each week for these shows. Even though Richie's going to ditch us and not help out at all, we do have a big deal show coming up tomorrow night with the stream sale. Me and Sean will be at it. And
they really do. You don't want to miss it.
we've decided this is going to be the ramp up show. This is going to be the show where we have some really good stuff, but we are really going to ramp things up and start teasing out what's going to happen in a week, because we have got a massive stack of stuff to get through and get it out there and available for everyone. So tune in tomorrow to start, and don't miss out on it. And then it'll actually be me and Sean on Sunday for your final order cutoff show.
Excellent.
I think you're back next week for this show.
Yeah, I'll be here for next week's show. Yep.
So that's what we got.
All right.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you all, and we will see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Don't miss in 26. Check out the highlights for New Comic Book Day March 25th, 2026. Superman and Spider-Man team up in the crossover event of the year, featuring a ton of immense talent at the helm with short stories and covers. Flash, Green Lantern, and Harley Quinn continue. The MCU's First Family gets a new #1 in Fantastic Four First Foes. Other phenomenal series continue like Dungeons of Doom #3 and Generation X23 #2. Image continuity this week includes Void Rivals, Skinbreaker, and Feral. Department of Truth returns with issue number 36, and the acclaimed White Sky releases its second issue. Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures brings us Pathfinders. Follow the dark comedic grind of being a supervillain's underling in Henchman #1. Thundercats concludes their current ongoing with issue number 25. Get what you want, and more, at iwantmorecomics.com.